When we think of a great leader, we usually picture these really charismatic figures, right? The ones who can rally a crowd and just shake the whole system up. But what happens when a country grows up? What if the thing we need most isn't more disruption, but a little more stability?
See, after years, maybe even decades of political fighting, a lot of mature democracies start asking a quieter, but maybe a more important question. Who can actually run this incredibly complex system we've all built without threatening to break it every 5 minutes?
And that question right there gets to the heart of this whole idea that leadership isn't some fixed, static thing. As a nation changes, the kind of leader it needs changes too.
Think about it. It's not always the loudest person in the room or the most ambitious who ends up in charge. A lot of the time, leadership is really about finding the right person for the right moment. It's all about the fit.
So let's look at the two big styles of leadership here. On one hand, you've got the mobilizer. This is the leader who thrives on confrontation, who builds power through their own personal authority. And honestly, they're perfect for a country that's going through a big corrective change. But then you have the manager. Their whole game is about coordination, building confidence not in themselves, but in the institutions. And that is ideal for a time of consolidation.
And this is exactly why that manager profile is becoming so incredibly relevant right now. You look at a country like India. It's moving past that phase of just trying to fix what's broken. The challenge today is completely different. It's about running a massive, complicated, and deeply interconnected global machine. And in that kind of environment, well, management starts to matter a whole lot more than mobilization.
Okay, so what does this manager-leader actually look like in the real world? Let's break down the key traits of this new kind of political figure.
First off, this isn't your typical politician. We are talking about someone with real, deep technical know-how, someone with actual administrative experience. They have this low-drama way of communicating, and they're totally comfortable swimming in complex systems. It's all about professional competence, not starting the next ideological war.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? They look less like a political warrior out for a fight and a lot more like a systems manager. Their confidence doesn't come from picking battles. It comes from understanding how all the different pieces of the puzzle actually fit together. So, why is this happening? Why is confidence suddenly starting to look more attractive than confrontation? Let's dig into some of the big reasons behind this shift. A huge part of it comes down to something called systems thinking. It's the ability to see the whole chessboard. It's knowing that a new tech policy isn't just about software, it's about national security. It's understanding that a new shipping port isn't just a slab of concrete, it's a critical link in the global supply chain. The job isn't just to shout orders anymore, it's to manage how everything connects. And you know what? This approach has this really powerful, even if it's quiet, appeal. It connects with this growing group of voters, people who are more urban, more educated, more globally aware. This crowd isn't really looking for constant political drama. They're looking for competence, for predictability. They want a government that helps create opportunities, not one that demands their constant attention. And this captures that whole idea perfectly. Look, when times are chaotic, confrontation can feel necessary, even heroic. But as things start to settle down, it's that quiet, steady hand of competence that really lasts. It just ages well. Okay, so if this type of leader isn't the one creating these big, charismatic waves, how on earth do they rise to power? Well, their path to the top is often pretty different. Just imagine for a second a kind of readiness test for stable leadership. This manager profile, they'd score really high on things like governance competence and comfort on the world stage. But look at that last one. Very low polarization risk. In a world as divided as ours is today, that's basically a political superpower.
This is a really, really key distinction here. You have wave leaders who build these huge movements specifically to win elections. But managers, they're often chosen after an election is over, when the dust settles and the number one priority becomes stability and building a consensus.
So what are the conditions that create an opening for this kind of leader? Well, it tends to happen when the public is just plain exhausted by all the political fighting, when election results are super close, and when the system itself seems to be crying out for some calm, drama-free governance. All right, for our final section, let's pull the camera back a bit. The rise of this manager profile isn't just about one person or one election. It's really about a fundamental change in what we even think leadership is. And this gets right to the heart of it. Some leaders come in and just change the government, but others, they come in and they change the very definition of leadership itself.
Their presence alone shows the public what else is possible.
The long-term impact here is a big shift toward making competence-based government feel, well, normal. It prepares the whole political system for what you could call a post-hero era, moving away from relying on one single charismatic savior and toward building trust in stable, well-run institutions.
And this right here is probably the ultimate takeaway from this whole discussion. When the constant mobilization just wears everyone out, calm starts to look an awful lot like competence. After all the noise, all the fighting, stability starts to look like the ultimate form of strength. So we end up right back where we started, with a question that really challenges our most basic ideas about power. Do we choose our leaders based on what we desire, that charisma, that excitement? Or does the political system, in the end, select the leader that fits the actual needs of the moment? It's definitely something worth thinking about.